everyone, as I am very lucky to have quite a large collection of Hanna Karlzon books now, and I've done a fair few pictures, around 50 pictures across the books, I thought it might be fun to show you what I've done in them so far. So let's make them into a bit of a more organised pile and get showing you really. So this is one of my newest acquisitions. Oh, City Among the Stars, and or Tales from the City Among the Stars. There is a little series, I think, from this sort of Tales from the Midnight Masquerade and the Forest Kingdom and the Witches Cottage. But this is I think the latest one that's come out in the UK. And so I haven't done many in here just because it's quite new. But I thought I would show you anyway. Now, when my husband had a quick look through this book, this page he said he really wanted me to do. And I'll come in a little bit closer for you. And he said he loves the unicorns. He wanted them to be multicolour rainbow pastel. So he didn't think that I would be able to do it, he admitted after he saw it, but he was really pleased with it. So that's exactly what I did. I got my pastel tints and did that. And it was quite difficult to know what to do for the wings and the horn and the tail and mane, but I just did them in metallics, using and Castle Arts pencils as well, but the soft touch. And then all these stars in the background I actually did with the Posca pen and outlined them in white, just because I wanted them to stand out a little bit. The clouds have got white outlines too, and they're quite pale. I didn't want the background to take over. I wanted the unicorns to be the star of the show, so that's why I did it like that. The other picture I've done from this book, I did as part of a video actually, when I did the flip through of the book, and it's just pastel with metallic pens. Really simple. Actually, I didn't show you, don't know, there's no shine on this one. The metallic is pencil, whereas this one has a lot of shine. I've got my lamp on and there's lots of sun coming in the window, so hopefully you can see. It's metallic, it's not glitter, but I just wanted everything to look really shiny with a sort of vaguely galaxy type background, but with pastels, so it's quite light. So that was rather fun. So those are the two that I've done in the book. Witches Cottage, I don't know why, but I've been working through it in order, and I'm not really sure why I decided to do this. When I made my video flip through, I did this page just because it was nice and simple, and there is some glitter on the bottle, which is quite, I'm wondering if that's actually metallic. It's really hard, it's not picking up the light. But this was done using Black Widow's pencils and Sakura pens. Had a lot of fun with that, and I really enjoyed how the colours came out. I wasn't quite expecting it to come out like this. Now this one, I was really inspired by the work of Black Anari, who is on Instagram. She does a lot of much darker colours, and so I thought I would have a go. Obviously it goes very light, but there's a lot of dark on the edging, which was great fun. Polychromos pencils I used for that, so I really enjoyed that one. It was something quite different to what I would normally do, and yeah, just had lots of fun, and I thought it looked a little bit magical. So I'm not going to write my name here because I just think it will take away from the picture, but being Witches Cottage, I've been trying to make the pages all look a bit magical. So this one to me looks like they are clover flowers, and so I coloured the flowers, but I covered each of the actual flowers with a sparkle pen, a glitter pen, and then in the corners of the background, which has just been done with some splodges of pastel, I put on some stickles in the corners. It's a little bit tricky to see. They were diamond stickles, so it was fun. I just want to make it all look very magical, and the same with this one. I saw one of these done yesterday. It was amazing. But anyway, I did the wings in a silver glitter, and the flower centres, I think they're just a glitter glue, you know, clear glitter pen, just to make them stand out. And I used a colour cube card, so I had a palette for that one, which I think helped me because I'm not wasn't really sure what to do with it. But that's the last one I've done. Now this month I shall be doing that one, which will be fun. As I think I'm just going to stick with working through it in order. I'm not doing that with any of the other books. I don't know why. I just started doing that. I might change my mind. Now Forest Kingdom, again, is the other one I have in this little series. And I use glitter on this one too. This is one that I did as a little mini tutorial when I did a flip through, I think. And it looks to me like I have used stickles on top of all the stars and the mushroom dots, but I can't quite remember. But that's that one. And then this one. Now I was scared of doing people. I was really unconfident, having not done many before. So this was a really good challenge for me. I think it's done in polychromos pencils, and I had so much fun. I really enjoyed it. It really boosted my confidence. I did look at other people's versions of this page to see where they did light and dark skin. You know, obviously it's light skin, but you know what I mean, where the shadows are and where's dark and where's lighter. So that really helped me, and that's what I'm going to be doing, I think, for a little while to build my confidence. Now this one this side I did with a colour cube card, a Sarah Renee Clark card. It obviously had this sort of peachy colour, which I used as a pastel background, and the sort of turquoise. I coloured these with Posca pen using a stencil, and then also obviously I've used darker versions of those colours within the bugs. It was really good fun to do. And this side, it's a really similar colour. I don't know, can't remember if I used a colour palette for this one as well. But obviously it's quite similar with the oranges, but there's green in here, which there isn't any green in that one. But another one that I had a lot of fun with, as I have actually with all of these. There's something about Hanna Karlzon's pictures that I feel bring the best out of my colouring somehow. I don't know why. Now, this one is done, I think, from looking mainly with Derwent light fast pencils, I think, looking at the colours. It was a lot of fun as well. I do like colouring mushrooms, toadstools, anyway. I felt the colour in the window might have been a little bit too dark, but apart from that, I was really happy with it. And the other one in here is this one. It's a little bit more simple. There's no background. It was again done with a colour palette card. So I was limited, which is really useful sometimes. I find I just did a picture with one because I just couldn't decide what colours to do it. So, you know, it can be really helpful. So that was that one. That was fun. And that's the last one in that one. Now this again is quite a recent acquisition. Someone kindly sent this to me. This is Hanna Karlzon's Compilation Book. So if you don't have any of her books and you want to try one, this is probably the one to get. But it's always worth, I always say to people, look at a flip through and of all the books. Say you want one of hers, look at flip throughs of all of her books. I actually found someone had done flip through of all of her books in one video, I think, or a lot of them, which was very useful. And then you'll be able to see what's there and which ones you like the best. So some of these are from her other books and some of them are new. A lot of them are new to me because I haven't done that many. Although I've done 50, it really isn't that many. So when I did my flip through, I did this picture as part of that, so that was a lot of fun. This I think is done with Derwent again, but I'm not entirely sure. So there's that one. Oops, and I've also done one other in here. This was done with definitely done with Derwent light fast pencils. Again, a daring one for me with skin tone, but I really had fun with it. It looks better from a distance than close up, but I think that tends to be the case with most pictures, but I feel like my confidence is building and I'm certainly having fun learning, which is really important. Now we have Daydreams, which is the first Hanna Karlzon book that I was given. All of these were gifts. I'm so grateful. They're so beautiful. So this was the first one I was given, so there's the most done in this one. So let's make a start. So the very first one I did was this. This was done with Castle Arts watercolour pencils. I'll bring it a bit closer. I'm not going to zoom in and out. And I think I did a video. I did do a video with that one. I was learning a lot with the pencils. I hadn't used them much before, so but I'm really pleased with how it came out in the end, so that was good. And I've used them a fair bit since. In fact, I used them at the weekend here. This picture I did at the weekend. As I say, I used Castle Arts watercolour pencils, but I didn't activate them, so I used them dry. Now that's because I was really pleased with how it looked. I'm just turning it so you can see the glitter. So I decided not to activate them. But what I did around the edge, I did some pastel, and I basically splodged it on because I wanted quite a rough looking background, and there's lots of stickles, not only diamond stickles spread around the edge, but on the lock. I don't know if I can get that to shine for you. It's really hard to get glitter to show up in the light. But anyway, that's that one. So we've got black diamond stickles in the lock just to make it look shiny. It's a bit of fun. This one has also got glitter. There's lots of glitter if you look carefully around the edge. It's part of the background. I've actually done a little tutorial on how to do a background like this with the glitter and this sort of colour. But the crown is done in Prismacolor. The gold, I can tell, is definitely Prismacolor, so I presume the whole thing probably is. I did this one really early. It might have been one of the first ones I did. I think I was watching like the Queen's Jubilee or something, and I just thought, oh, it just seems right to do a crown. This one I did very recently, so I remember it was done with the Artex pencils. I wasn't too pleased with how it looked, to be honest. The cat wasn't quite the colour I was hoping for, but I couldn't fiddle with it anymore to get the right colour, and the sky's a bit streaky, but in the end I just left it and went with it. Sometimes I think you've got to just move on, and the sky looks to me, yeah, I think the dots in the sky are done with Posca pen, but it's not shiny. No shine on that one. Now this one was fun. This one I did with Castle Arts metallic pencils. I'm trying to see, not on the mice, but on the water and the sky and the kettle. And I, as well as using the metallic pencils, I created a bit of a shine as well, because they aren't really that shiny, but I really love the colours and it was great fun to have a go with them. But as I say, the mice are done with a lot of white pen. I'm not sure whether the grey was a metallic or something else. The pink definitely is a different brand of pencil. So anyway, but that was such fun. And actually that light there, that's not metallic. But that is that one. The stars are coloured actually with, I think there's metallic pen on there. They seem really shiny, more so than anything else on the page. Now this one was a fun one. This, I used my Staedtler Design Journey Soft Touch pencils, and I just wanted to try a sort of splidgy splodgy background. I sort of was thinking bokeh, but it isn't really, and just kept blending them up really. And this paper is very good for blending, I find, all sorts of pencils. These are fairly hard, to be honest, compared to something like Prisma. But, and so the blended edges aren't necessarily that soft, but I think overall, if you look at the whole thing without looking too closely at the background, I think it came off really well. I was very pleased with it anyway. Ah yes, this one, I'm not sure what pencils I used for this, maybe Prisma. I'm having a look at the crowns. I kept the crowns quite simple, even though there's lots of detail on them, but I know the background is done with pastels, and what I did was I did a sort of rough green background, and then I took some darker greens and splodged it, and took some of the colour like this, a purple, and splodged it so it looks like we might be looking through to more of the bush. I wasn't very confident, they're not that dark, but you know, I rather like it, to be honest. I think it works quite well. I didn't want the background to overtake the foreground, which can sometimes happen. And we have two here. This one, it's got a lot of colour transfer from the opposite page on the edges, so I need to erase that really. But anyway, this was my first skin tone picture, and her face is done using, and her hair, using the Crayola Colours of the World skin tone pencils. I quite liked the types of colours that they offer in that set, but I did find that it was quite difficult to make the pencil lines disappear, if you know what I mean. I could see the sort of streaks of pencil, which I wasn't very keen on. I'm not sure what I used for the rest of the pictures. There's some very delicate pinks there. I'm wondering if they were in the hair, the wings in the hair. I'm wondering if it was an Arteza expert or something. Oh, it was probably pastel tint, or Holbein pastels, a pastel pencil, I think. So yeah, I'm thinking probably Holbein. But I was really pleased that as my very first attempt, I did use a guide picture from Pinterest, but even so, I was happy with that. Now this one I had lots of fun with. This is done with Prismacolor. I really liked how the bees came out. I know it sounds a bit odd. The colour, the sort of bronzy, browny, shininess, I just really liked it. And what I did with their wings, if you can see, is I made them see-through. So basically, I coloured a little bit of the colour from the thing behind, but in a very light layer. And then I went over the top of all of them in white. And so you can see here, you can see the grasses through the wings, and up here as well. So I just sort of continued that leaf through with a light, and then, as I say, I really burnished on some white pencil, and then around the edge of the wings, I don't think I've done anything, I've just gone over it all in white pencil, and so they look a little bit see-through, and it was such fun. I haven't tried the technique since, I really should. And the only thing with this picture is I feel that the colour scheme down here doesn't really match the colour scheme. I think it's just that pale green that doesn't quite work. But it looks rather nice in the stems, quite emeraldy, but up here I think it's a little bit too pale. But anyway, I left it in the end. I'd sort of, to be honest, you know, I'd had enough, I'd worked it enough, I didn't want to rework it. So that was that, but I was still pleased with it. This is one of the first ones that I did in this book. I'm looking at that. It's done with polychromos. The mushrooms look almost fluorescent. Now the rain is coloured with glitter. I don't know if it's going to be picked up by the light, but I had so much fun with that page, I remember. And the sky is actually done with a blue pastel, so really quick and easy. Can't wait to colour these. Now this one was interesting. This was a buddy colour. I wouldn't normally have picked this picture to even colour, but that's the joy of doing buddy colours, is that your buddy might pick something and you go with it. So I did the crab in the Crayola Colours of the World pencils, just because I just thought they would be the right sort of colour for a crab. I don't know. And I don't know what I used for the gemstone. The background is done with a pastel, but what I did was I used a pale pastel, and then I had a stencil which looked a bit wave-like, and I just used it on the edges. I didn't use it all over. I thought it would be too complicated and sort of take away from the main picture, but it was just sort of on the corners to sort of frame it. So that was interesting and fun. It wants to open there, but I don't know why. Right, we have, it's not really a double page. This one was done with Prismacolor. I first learnt gold with Prismacolor, so that was fun doing the gold there. And I felt the little squirrel was quite cute. And there's been some transfer of pencil from the other side. And I had good fun with this sort of sunsetish background, but quite pale, so it doesn't really, it's delicate, that was the point, so that the squirrel would really show up. Now this was done with my Derwent drawing pencils. It's quite rough and ready on the background, but I really like it. They went down a dream. They're so smooth, they blend really nicely. I love the colour of this. The only problem I have with them is that the greens are very brown and earthy. There aren't any nice bright greens, but I'm going to mix them up with my other Derwent pencils and use them together, and I think it'll just be fantastic because they just seem, I don't know, much softer and more fun somehow. I don't know how to describe it really. Now this one was done with watercolour pencils, the Castle Arts. I was still learning. I think they've been activated with a blending solution rather than water, and as I got a bit confused here, I've taken it all the way to the edge there but not here, so I don't know what was going on in my head there. But I decided to draw the jellyfish on afterwards, just with some white pen and this bit of purple, just because I think they're quite see-through. The mistake I've made is that the background is, although I've gone over it with a glitter pen, you can't, the glitter pen was running out by the looks of it, all the glitter's all come off, you can't really see it. I think I should have penciled over that first to make the background fade back a bit, because it really does, it looks like it's really clear, because we can see the background the same colour as everywhere else. And that isn't really how it would look. But anyway, I had fun. This page I did before it, I was really still learning the watercolours. Well, I still am now, you know. And I decided to do the other one watercolour as well because the paper had slightly warped and I just thought it would work. I really like these two colours together. I'd seen somebody else use them. I'm afraid I can't remember who. Using the sort of green to yellow and then the sort of red to pink together, and so I wanted to have a go, so that's what I did. So the yellow is actually Posca pen, which I put on afterwards, very much easier to do it that way. And the background, the stars and the dots are done in gold or silver Posca, so if I turn it to the light you can see they're shiny. So that's that one. This bird was actually done as a tutorial video. I didn't do the whole thing as a tutorial, but just I think it was the body and a bit of the wing. I can't remember because obviously a lot of it is the same. I have no idea what pencils I used, but I had fun because I haven't done a background. I'm surprised I didn't do a sort of clouds or something easy, but yeah, I didn't, so that's how it is. This one is a set of tutorials. On my channel I did a tutorial for each. I had so much fun. They're all very shiny and yeah, fun. Every one of them has got some shine on. Well, the spider is only got metallic on it, but the others and the beetles have got nothing. I really like their colours. I didn't want to interfere with that, but the rest of them have stickles and glitter glue, things like that on them. Really fun. And the last one in this book is this page. I had a lot of fun with this one too. This is done with Prismacolor. I really like the sort of delicate pinks that they've got in the set, so that's what I used. And as well as the sort of true greens, spring greens, I'm not sure exactly what, but I had a lot of fun with that one. So that is the last one in there, but we've still got 5 books to go. So this is one I've had for a lot less time, so there's only a few in here. I try to do a picture a month across all of the books because they're all so lovely. I find it really hard to choose which one to do next, so I just do one from each. It cuts down that choice. So this one was done when I did my flip through, so there's a video for this one. Try to make him look sort of metallic and gemstone-y. He's very dark. Vibrant. I'm pretty sure that's Black Widow's pencils, but I couldn't be entirely sure. This one I did really recently, but I'm trying to remember what pencils I used and I just can't, because I've got trying to think now. No, I don't know. But yeah, I did that this month. I had a lot of fun. Last month, sorry. There's a pastel background in a sort of dirty grey colour to make it look like there's a sort of grey brick wall behind, to try and make the flowers stand out a little more. But there's splodges of red and green and browns in the background as well, just to make it look a bit more interesting. That was a lot of fun. I do like colouring dolls. And this one was quite interesting. I thought that these were leaves, so I coloured them green and then put these little dots on as if they were like yew leaves, yew trees with berries on, and lots of glitter in the corners and on the leaves, and I thought it looked quite Christmassy. And obviously there's some dry pastels in the background, and then I realised that they're actually feathers from this hen. But hey ho, you can get green feathers, I'm sure. Now this one, I'm pretty sure, looking at it carefully, is that done with Derwent Lightfast? Not sure, but I had a lot of fun because I love colouring berries, so it was a really good fun one for me. Although I did all the berries, had lovely fun. I was like, what on earth am I going to do with the building? I didn't want the berries to fade, so I kept this quite plain so that these would stand out because they were where I had the most fun and spent the most time. So there's that one. Okay, now we have Magical Dawn. I find it interesting that these covers are nearly the same colour. All the others are different. I don't know whether there's a reason for that. When I did my flip through of Magical Dawn, I coloured this little frog. I've got no idea what pencils I used. I'm trying to see, but I can't tell. Maybe they were Artex, because it's very pale green, isn't it? Lime green. But he was good fun. He comes later in the book too, so I can have another go at him, which will be good. And this one was one that I did quite recently. I really felt like he looked like a phoenix, and I looked up some pictures of phoenixes, and one of them had this amazing background with smoke and light and things, and I took from that, it was just a picture on Google Images. I just googled phoenix and it came up. And so I took that idea and went with it with my pastels, and I'm not normally this daring with my backgrounds, and it was just so much fun. And because there were so many layers of pencil, it meant that the pastels didn't really go onto the pencil very much, so that was lucky. And yeah, and then there's black pen here just so that those dots really stand out. It was so much fun, so that was a good one. And the other one that I've done in here is this one. I was asked to do a video for the henna hand in Rita Berman's Asian book, and so I wanted to practice hands. So this was my practice page. So I was, I'm not experienced at skin tone, so I had a practice. I just used my own hand as a guide really and coloured that in, and just did a light pastel background on that one. So that was fun. My skin tones are very pale still at the minute, I think because I need some more confidence, but I'm getting there. So jewellery box. Ooh. So when I did my flip through of jewellery box, I coloured in this little flower. It has got a lot of, oh there you go, glittery stickles in the middle and some red glitter on the dots as well, so that was a bit of fun. It's just a little one. I usually just try and find something small to colour. Now I did this flower. I wanted to make it look like the whole flower was a jewel because it's in jewellery box, so there's a lot of shine, and the dots on the outside, these dots are done in a Posca pen, I think, but they're not shiny. So this is where the shine is. So that was that one. I just, wanted something plain and simple. This one has gone a bit curly. This has been done with Prismas and Polychromos. Had a lot of fun. There's a bit too much white pen on there, but anyway, most of it I'm really happy with. I yeah, I just had a lot of fun. It did take forever, and I did think it was never going to finish at one point with the background, but once I'd done the background, then it was cool, it was good, it went quickly, but it was fun. And this one was a tutorial. The pencils I used on each of these were a mixture, but mainly Castle Art metallic pencils. I think the only place where they weren't used was on this ribbon, because I didn't want the ribbon to look metallic, and I suspect I just used soft touch or something on that one, but they were lots of fun to do. And we're on to the last one now. So Seasons, this was the second one I think I got, so again there's quite a lot in this one. So the very first picture here, whoops, was the one I did with the flip through. Let's put it up a little bit closer. I wanted to make it look like it was a jeweled on a metallic sort of base, like it was a sort of brooch or something. That was my thought for that one. Now this one, oh, we've got a little one here. It's got some glitter on its wings. I'm not sure what pencils it was done with. They're very vibrant, aren't they? And this one, there's been a bit of colour transfer from the black, which isn't really surprising, but I wanted to do something quite striking for our first page. I haven't put my name in yet, but I thought the black framed it really nicely without having to do anything too much in the middle. No idea what pencils, thinking probably Prismas, because that blue isn't a polychromos, but I'm not sure. So that was that one. This one with no background is quite unusual for me not to do a background in Hanna's books, but I didn't for this one. And I've got no idea what pencils I used, but I wanted this to look like a shiny gemstone. I'm quite pleased with that. This is actually done with a gold pencil, which makes me think that these are Prismas or Polys, because the other set I've got with a gold pencil wouldn't have those oranges in it. So I'm not really sure. I think, I don't know. But anyway, that was fun. Then this one we have got a background for. I think the background really takes from the foreground. It's too much. Or I shouldn't have done a different colour inside the bottle than the background, because I just feel that it doesn't quite work. They just don't stand out enough from the background somehow. But you know, maybe just the inside of this one could be a bit darker, because this one stands out better. And I think also this jewel is too pale. But I'm being overly critical. I do like it. I'm just, you know, thinking that it just doesn't quite stand out. Oh, my telephone is ringing. I'm going to just talk to my children 1 minute. Right, it's my mum. I'm going to call her back in a minute. So this is was a series that I did from within this book. There is a little section of small pictures for each sort of season, and this is the spring season pictures, and I've fairly recently finished the series of these. It was a lot of fun doing those with polychromos pencils. And this was my autumn one. So this was quite early on when I had the book that I did the autumn series. So that was rather fun. So these are all tutorials on my channel. Oh yes, now this one, that background is pastel, and I used a lot to get it really dark, and I think it works really well. I've wanted a real autumnal warm feeling to that one. I think I achieved that. I rather like the graduation of colour in here as well. It was just a lot of fun. These I wanted to look a bit more gemstony. They don't quite, but everything else I'm really happy with. Now this is another season page with different bits and pieces, and again these are a series of tutorials for obviously for winter. You can see the sort of Christmas influences in there as well, so that was a lot of fun. There's a bit of sparkle in places on those as well, so that was good fun. Oops, we're nearly at the end, a couple left. This one is our sort of wintry lady. I'm not sure why I didn't take her hair all the way to the end. Anyway, must have found it hard to pull the book open, but I had a lot of fun with her hair, and there's a little bit of shine on the gemstones. I'm not sure how well it shows up in the camera though, but that was a fun one. And she's got metallic on her face there. Again, a very early skin tone picture, but you know, getting there slowly. And this is the last one, again very Christmassy. We're ending on a Christmas theme. So we've got, I wanted that to be, the bird to be quite a bright Christmas red, but it turned out looking a little bit too pink. But I enjoyed the bell. It was done with watercolour pencils actually, but the bit on the outside is done with pastels, soft pastels, but this bit is done with watercolour pencils. The yellow has been activated, the bell has been activated. I'm not sure on the bird, but the tree hasn't. It was too thin, so I just did it without. So that's that one. So that's the last one. So I hope you enjoyed those. It was fun showing you what I've been doing. Feel very lucky to have all of these absolutely beautiful books that I've been given, and have been having such a lot of fun. So I thought it'd be nice to just show you what I've been doing in them. I can't fit them all on camera. There we go. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.